Hello, how's it going? Welcome back to some more F1 23 and another part of our Immersive Driver Career Mode with Alfa Romeo. Today we are back with the Austrian Grand Prix, of course, a sprint weekend, so depending on how long the video is up to the end of the sprint race, we might have a little bit of a shorter episode today. Yeah, of course, last time out we had an incredible pole position, and I do realise I forgot to show you that in full, so I thought, why not start this episode with a little bit of a walk down memory lane, and here is my pole position lap. Well, not often in life do you say something's perfect, but this has been the perfect lap, and it's a 110.5. Oh, it wasn't too bad, was it? It was pretty good. I feel like that was the perfect lap of Canada for me in this car, in that track grip with those tyres. I couldn't have got any more out of that, and that's why we got pole position. But yeah, I mean, you know, difficulty still very much the same. We're on 101 difficulty at the moment. I am going to put that up to 103 now, see if I can somehow not do so well in qualifying, but we will see. But obviously, reliability caught us for the first time this season, and it wasn't even the engine part that was the most worn, the ICE, of course. It was the MG UK, which is a real shame, actually. But we're going to go for a new internal combustion engine for this weekend, go back to our first MG UK, possibly a new MG UH, and, well, yeah, energy store's looking pretty ropey at the moment. Perhaps we'll go for a pretty much new engine this Grand Prix, and maybe stick with that controller electronics and new gearbox, and we may well have to think about taking a penalty soon, because we're not going to make it through all the way to Abu Dhabi with that. But yeah, 2 races in a row now that we've not scored points. We have got some R&D upgrades in the pipeline. Would be nice to get some of them on the car before this next episode here in Austria. And there's our front wing gurney flap. Very happy with that. And a control electronics improvement. Very, very good indeed.
We'll have the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix. And
you can see we've now put in a major upgrade for 2 parts of the engine, the ICE and the MG UK, as well as the weight reduction that'll hopefully be in for the 3rd of July, which is fantastic. And well, if you have a little look at the R&D tree, you can see we are now the 8th fastest team. We're pretty much on par with McLaren. Haas have made a very big step forward. If you have a look at their statistics, I think we maybe need to continue on, because I don't think that's fully up to date. Yeah, it's still got Ferrari there. So let's head into the weekend, and we can see what sort of weather we're going to be facing, that sort of thing. Hopefully it's going to be dry. Oh no, it's wet for the sprint, it's wet for the race. Oh dear, it's a disaster. Oh well, never mind. Our car, it does do pretty well in the wet anyway. But look at that, Haas have made a massive step forward. You can see we've made a pretty significant steps in similar, really, to get up towards McLaren. You know, we've definitely caught them up somewhat. Mercedes are now the second quickest team. Aston Martin have had a big upgrade. They're back in the fight as well, and Red Bull have pulled further away than ever before. So it's going to be an interesting Grand Prix, and I'll see you guys for qualifying. Obviously only the one practice session to get our setup right, so let's get into it. Welcome along then to qualifying here in Austria. It's going to be an absolutely cracking Grand Prix, I think. Pace feels good. Valtteri Bottas was actually 4th in first practice, and fingers crossed we can replicate that in qualifying today. We've done no soft tyre running as yet, so plenty of new tyres in the bank, and we want to keep as many of those tyres fresh as possible. So let's get ourselves into qualifying and see how we get on. A little mistake there and puts us in the gravel, so I think this is going to be a very good time here. Love to be in the 105s, but don't think that's going to happen as we fly around the final corner. It's 106.5, which puts us ahead of Kevin Magnussen. I do think there's more time on the table. Let's just check we've got enough fuel to do it. We do. So let's go out there on a second timed lap. Get a little bit of tow from Lance Stroll. That was a lovely exit there. Obviously broke a little bit earlier, so it went red momentarily, but we are a 1/10 of a second up as it stands. Again, braking a little bit earlier, carrying a bit more speed through, and it was here where we had a big snap of oversteer and touched the gravel this time. Absolutely brilliant through there, and we're 5/10 quicker than Pierre Gasly as it stands, and look how much time we've actually gained. We're going to be in those 1:05s that I said before, as long as we finish off this lap brilliantly, and we do. We come up to the line, and it is going to be in the 105s. It's a 105.9, which puts us ahead of Nico Hülkenberg and in 6th place as it stands. Well, we're currently down to P18 as it stands. We're on the brand new soft tyres. We're out there on what will be our final lap here. In qualifying, checkered flag is flowing. You can see how much time we're making up because the track has evolved a lot, but is it going to be enough? That's the question. We need to keep it planted on the track. We're 6/10 up at the moment. This is close. We fly around the final corner. Brilliant time. And is it going to get us through? Yes, it is. That's a lovely 105 flat, which puts us 9th. And, well, a little bit of pressure on that lap. I don't think that was our absolute maximum, but we managed to get through. And we can be very, very pleased about that. And look at how close it is between ourselves and Bottas. Maybe 103 is the difficulty to be. Well, our lap time has been deleted. It feels like it would be a good time if we were to go and finish it. This is on the used set of tyres from Q1, or the end of Q1. So, going to have to do what we did in Q1 and go and set a second time lap on these. Have we got the... Well, no. We've gone too wide there. Would have been a 105.6, which would have been enough for about 12th place, but it's not going to be good enough. We're going to have to go out there right at the end of the session on a brand new set of soft tyres. Well, you joined me halfway through the lap, and we're up on our deleted time, and that's exactly where we lost our time last lap, and we need to keep our foot to the floor. It's a purple middle sector, which is lovely to see, and we are a lot quicker than our teammate Valtteri Bottas through that sector. He's currently in P11, but is this going to be enough to get through into the top 10? We fly around the final corner, right up against track limits, and now we're over the line, and a 104.8, and that's enough for P5. What a brilliant lap in Q2. It puts our teammate out, and, well, we got to be happy with that. That was an awesome end to the lap. We really wrung the neck of the car, and we're comfortably through in the end. Well, I don't think we're going to make it to the line here. It's going to be very, very close. 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness me, we just about make it. This is very much last man over the line. And, well, a 104.8 would be enough for 9th place at the moment. Looking at the times. And that's what we produced in Q2. I don't think we'll get anywhere near that because we've not had the ideal preparation to our lap there. Now we've got a little bit of a tow from the Red Bull and Aston Martin, I think. But the problem is they're going to be right in our way in this twisty section. Well, Verstappen gets out of the way nicely. Managed to hold it fairly tight there, and it is a decent middle sector. It's just on par with Max Verstappen. Now, if we can fly through this final sector, let's see what we get. Not our absolute best time, but we're going to come up to the line. It's a 104.9, which is enough for 8th place today. And, well, we can be happy with that, I suppose. You know, it wasn't our ultimate pace, but I don't think we could have done much better than that.
Today. Sainz, Russell and Charles Leclerc. With qualifying wrapped up now, we have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
And of course, it is wet conditions for the sprint race, so I'm excited to see how on earth we get on. So let's hand over to David Croft, who'll take you through the opening of the sprint race.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Perez, Hamilton, Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, the captain, Norris, Stroll, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Magnussen, Albon, Ocon, Tsunoda, Sargent, and Nick de Vries. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once more by Anthony Davidson. They've been involved in a number of costly incidents lately. That's got to affect their mindset going into this race.
Certainly confidence is an important factor. And every time you're involved in an incident, it's not just the car you damage, but that confidence as well. But all the top racing drivers are able to tune that out when the race gets underway and focus on the job at hand.
Okay, here we are.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
And, well, rain could well be coming to this Grand Prix. It's quite difficult to say, really. Let's have a little look at the race director, see what the crack is. Quite a few people going for mediums, but mostly the soft tyres. So I'm tempted to go for a little bit of an alternate strategy, see if we can make it work. Without further ado, let's get into it. It's 8 laps of this wonderful
so our system
circuit.
checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of this lap.
Now, with the mediums, we can afford to be a little bit more aggressive. I think by the end of the Grand Prix, if we can hang on to the coattails of these front runners, I think by the end of the Grand Prix, we're going to be in a really strong position. But, yeah, it didn't, unfortunately, do anything with fuel. So we're probably carrying a little bit of fuel that we don't need to.
Okay, expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes
It's going to be rain right at the end of the race, and I think that's why it's important to be on the medium tyres, because they're going to still have a little bit more grip. So this could really be a terrific strategy. There's only 3 of us in the entire grid that have gone for this strategy of medium tyres, but we'll get a good idea of where the strategy is for the race tomorrow as well. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really intense sprint race, and we could well reap the rewards. It's funny that our grid position is actually further away now than it was a corner ago. But here we come. We're going to ride up towards our grid box, and we'd like to probably get at least an odd numbered grid position for the race tomorrow. I'm thinking maybe aim it to the right slightly here. Let's see. And there we go.
Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out.
And the lights are ready to go out now. Lights out, away we go, and it's another terrific start off the line for us. What a brilliant start. And we're already ahead of Fernando Alonso, and we head towards turn 1, but we make contact. We make contact with the Red Bull of Sergio Perez. That was a little bit risky going down the inside there, but the momentum we had, we felt like we were able to make that work. Now then, yellow flags behind as well.
Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us. Now look, I've put a new strategy option for you in the MFD, so go and have a look.
There's a possible new strategy, but I don't think we want to actually do that.
Confirmed.
I don't think the car feels too bad. If we can keep that going, but yeah, that was a difficult maneuver. We obviously were trying to be ambitious going into turn 1. We'd had a flyer off the line, and yeah, just were a little bit too ambitious, I think. But we'll see how it goes. And well, that's Perez having a little look there. Oh, that was close. Hamilton nearly getting involved as well. But yeah, I think because there's no pit stops, there's no real point in coming in and getting that front wing changed. Now what we'd quite like is a safety car, because that would bring the rain closer in, but it's amazing how well this car can operate without that front wing. And well, we're 4th place at the moment. I think once DRS is enabled, we'll have a bit of a problem, but as long as we save our ERS deployment for those specific areas of the track, we might be in with a chance of holding on here. But it's that final sector where we're struggling, and here goes Sergio Perez then. He's going to have a little look down the inside here.
Try to stay with
DRS
them.
here.
Might make a mistake and we could still regain the position.
And that could help us out. And you can see how much we're gaining and gaining and gaining on Sergio Perez here. But we're going to just make sure we get a good exit. Up towards turn 4. DRS is open. And again, look how much we're gaining on Sergio
Rain is
Perez.
forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
And that's okay. So 5th place for now. Only the 1 place lost, but yeah, as I say, it's through the high speed corners that we're really struggling. But low speed, not so bad right now. But 3 laps gone, and here comes Max Verstappen then. He flies around the final corner, and there's Lewis Hamilton now getting involved, and DRS open. We're going to deliberately stay back so that we get some more DRS, and there you go, big push wide of Hamilton, and well, Nico Hülkenberg up to 7th position now. And is he going to be somebody that we're able to stay in front of, as we're now on lap 4 of this Grand Prix, halfway through. Not Grand Prix, but sprint race, you know what I'm saying. And there we go, Nico Hülkenberg having a little exploratory look down the inside there.
5 laps of fuel left.
But he was ahead before the DRS detection, meaning we had DRS out of that corner. So that's not too bad, to be fair. We know the rain is possibly coming as well, but I don't think we've really got a leg to stand on with that. It's this corner here, that's where we're really struggling. Turning to the left in high speed situations. Very, very tough indeed. But the good news is, even if Hülkenberg and Hamilton manage to get in front of us, that's a bit of contact with Hülkenberg. I was going to say the guys sort of behind Hamilton are a little bit further away, but it seems like they've caught up in the last lap or so. But they're side by side, they're battling. Nico Hülkenberg again will be trying to get past us here. But there's contact between Hamilton and Stroll, and as I say, that's really helping us. Just pull away slightly, and we've only got 2 laps to go after this, so it's not so bad, and our tyres are in pretty good nick. Everybody else's will be struggling by this stage.
Okay, just 2 laps of fuel remaining now.
Here we go then, onto the final lap of this sprint race, and we have pulled away from Hülkenberg and Hamilton, and you can see our tyres have lasted quite nicely, and yeah, the group in front, they are going to be battling over the final couple of positions. There might be some incidents, who knows, but we're putting in personal bests towards the end of this sprint race, whereas as I say, everybody else, they will be struggling on their soft tyres. Lewis Hamilton doing a good job, but I'm intrigued to see whether it's the Ferrari that opted for medium tyres that is leading the race, because I feel like my tyres are just so much better than, of course, Nico Hülkenberg's. But you look at Hamilton, he is closing in on us now, and it's Carlos Sainz that wins the sprint race. 8 points in the bag for him, and we're going to come round, and these are going to be our first points in a sprint race. We come up to the line and finish in 6th place, meaning we are on 6th position for the Grand Prix tomorrow.
Over. Take care of the car on the way in.
And uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Well, absolutely not. It wasn't. A couple of soft tyre runners at the front there. George Russell finishes 3rd on the medium tyres. I think he's probably outperformed where he thought he would be, but we're in 6th place. I can be really happy with that, actually. 107.8, our fastest lap in the end, considering we had the wing damage. I think had we not had that, we'd have been right up at the front, which is really, really positive going into the Grand Prix. So, shall we go and do that then? And see how David Croft and Anthony Davidson are doing today.
Welcome from the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. It's a short lap here in Spielberg with just 10 corners, 7 to the right and 3 to the left, making up the total distance of 2.6 miles. And expect to see a lot of cars running wide today, especially through the last corner, as the wet conditions make the cars skittish through the downhill sections. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Perez, Verstappen, the captain, Hamilton, Hülkenberg, Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Ocon, Sargent, Gasly, Tsunoda, De Vries, Norris, and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me once again for coverage of today's race is none other than the great Anthony Davidson. The last few races have been a bit rough for them, unable to get a clean run. That's got to have some effect on their confidence, surely.
It's not an ideal situation by any means. When you get into a bad run like that, there's always a risk of frustration creeping in, which can cause more mistakes and locks you into this vicious cycle. Hopefully today they can get through turn 1 cleanly and stay calm for the rest of the race.
Right, here we are down on the track then. It looks like we are on intermediate tyres, I think, is it? Yeah, intermediate tyres. It looks like the team have decided on a zero-stop strategy, although I am a little tempted and intrigued by doing the one-stop and being a little bit more aggressive. I think that's definitely something that could be of benefit to us. It is going to be about, well, 1.8 seconds slower, but surely the car feeling more comfortable is going to be where you want to be at. Little look at the car setup. If you want to replicate it at home, then there you go. There is my car setup for you. And, well, let's get ourselves into this Grand Prix, starting in P6. So, you know, very nice place to be starting from. And obviously, in the wet races we've had so far, we've done all right, to be fair.
Watch the RPM on the full start. We don't want you to bog down.
So we need to just be a little bit careful, I think, of our front wing into the first corner, because it will not manage to survive the race today. If we do make contact at the first corner, you know, it is going to be very, very difficult for us from that point on.
Radar showing a clear patch on its way. There's about 10 more minutes of this rain.
Well, that's interesting. Only 10 minutes of rain left anyway, so it's going to be all about when we switch onto those slick tyres, and perhaps there will be slick conditions come the end of the race. And that's going to be exciting to find out. You know, where everybody's bravery is. I think we'll be pretty sorted, actually. We have been very good in changeable conditions so far, and you know, we're already starting quite high up, so we could well get a nosebleed if we're not careful. Of course, finished 5th in Imola, I think. Was it Imola? No, it was Monaco. We finished 5th in Monaco because of the strategies there. A zero-stop strategy that the AI bottled out of. at the last moment. Well, here we go. Need to just rock up. That's okay.
Decent parking. Let's try and get
That's
a good
all right.
launch as the lights go out. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed.
Here we go. We are ready for lights out. And away we go here in Austria. It's not the best start off the line for us, but we managed to maintain position as we head towards turn 1, and we are going to be very, very cautious. Lewis Hamilton manages to make it past us. He's had a flyer off the grid, and we're down to P7 as it stands. Nico Hülkenberg's had a poor start. He's dropped it right down outside of the points, I think, which is a shame for him as we all crawl through this corner and yellow flags are out.
Okay, now stay alert for threats around you.
Well, we used a little bit of ERS out of that corner, trying to get past Max Verstappen, but no luck there, and Verstappen having a little tiny look at his old rival Lewis Hamilton. But we're managing to maintain position for now, 7th place, and I mean, I'd be absolutely thrilled with that come the end of the Grand Prix, if I'm honest with you. Well, we've got Max Verstappen side by side with Lewis Hamilton as they go into the first corner, and there's a little bit of contact, and that's going to give us an opportunity potentially to get past one or both of them. Oh, this is going to be so close as we go down into turn 3 and we brake. Oh, and it's just a little bit too much, but I think we're okay. We are through. We haven't been told to let him pass, but essentially I'm going to let Lewis Hamilton pass. Not Max Verstappen, though. But, yeah, I think we went a little bit too deep into there and managed to take that wider line, which gave us a bit of an advantage. So, very surprised we didn't get the track limit warning, first and foremost, and also the notification to let back past those two cars. But we have let Lewis back past, and we're up to 6th, which is where we started this Grand Prix. But it's been an intriguing start to this race, because I feel like the pace is coming to us, but not really pulling away from anyone down to maybe Albon in the Williams.
1.9 seconds.
Well, you join us on lap 6 and you can probably visibly see how much drier this track is getting. It is still raining, but the rate at which we are throwing up spray into the air, clearing this racing line is greater than the rate at which the rain is.
Looks like we're running on a dry track soon. Back to dry shortly.
You know, peppering the track and making it damp. So we are going to be on the slick tyres shortly. And it's going to be a big decision, really, on what tyres do you go on. Probably hards at this stage. It is still very early, but hards aren't going to warm up very quickly. Do you go to a 2-stop dry strategy? Two lots of soft tyres, maybe? There's big decisions to be made. I'm going to kind of leave it up to Mark the engineer to think about all of that, but I've no idea what the AI are going to do, and that's going to be really interesting for the rest of this race. Let's just have a little look.
Tyre for now.
So still Inters are the best tyres, but we are definitely getting towards some sort of crossover period, I would imagine. You know, particularly this middle sector feels almost dry. You know, if you have a little look at the temperatures, you can see the fronts are overheating massively, so it's not going to be in us for long. Gonna come over, try and cool these front tyres. But that allows Max Verstappen to have a little look round the outside, but we hold off the defending world champion and world championship leader for now.
Expected. Inters seem to be the fastest tyre for now.
Well, you join me on lap 9 and you can clearly see the rain has stopped. We are maybe 1 lap away from dry tyres. We seem to be struggling more than most on these intermediates. I think they've overheated quite a bit on our car. You can see Max Verstappen having a little look. Of course, in a quicker car, it's what you expect to happen. Is he going to make contact now? He's okay. And Fernando Alonso has actually caught up in all of that as well.
The track is drying. Let us know when it's time for slicks.
I think in this lap, to be honest with you, these tyres are gone. I want him to make the decision of what tyres we're moving on to. Because I've no idea whether the two-stopper on the slick tyres, on the soft tyres, is going to be viably good, or whether we need to be on hards. I don't know. We need to make a decision now. But the mediums would be used, so maybe we do come in for some soft tyres.
Understood. Stopping this lap. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by.
15 laps to go.
4.7 seconds.
We're going to go hards. We're going to go hards. We're making that decision. 15 laps. I think they can last that. So here we come. We're going to be the first onto the slick tyres. Obviously still very slippy in the pit lane. And here we go. We stop. And
Right,
we're away.
let's go. Come on. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time.
Hard
We're happy with
tyres
that
are
one.
not going to be very
Look after
nice.
these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
And it's a risky one. But you'd think once we are up to full temperature,
Yellow flag.
we're going to be going quicker.
Safety car.
Oh, safety car's
no
deployed.
Overtaking. Reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
Well, this is interesting. Are people going to come into the pits now? It was Norris, I think, that made the error. Are people coming in? No. So this Lando Norris has been disqualified. Wow. I'm really struggling to keep the tyre delta positive. Nobody's come in yet.
I've got information on Albon for you. Okay, they're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
It's got an issue as well, but let's just have a little look at tyre temperatures here. And you can see we've managed to fire them up and we have got grip out there, so the fact nobody's come in, I think, has given us a real advantage here. Just need to make sure we warm them up, but let's not make any massive mistakes here. But first safety car period of this year's game, I believe. You can see the surface of the tyre. That's what's really struggling here. Actually, internally the tyre's okay. It's the surface that just not quite warming up as much as we'd like. That's why we possibly thought soft tyres would be better, but nobody's coming in. Don't think soft tyres would last 13 laps, so I'd come in and change them now. But I mean, it's interesting how damp the track still is, but we took the risk. We're not flying off the racetrack.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
So I think we're still in a really good position, and I'm surprised other teams haven't gone for it. I suppose I'm thinking, well, if we go another couple of laps, we might be able to eke out the soft tyres. This is going to be really interesting to see how the rest of this race goes. We'll be back when it's time for the lights once again.
Safety car
well,
in
safety
this
car's
lap.
in this
Safety
lap,
car
so
in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
This is going to be so interesting. You can still see how much water there is on the track. You can see how wet our tyres are, but we have got grip out there. We have got grip. And I think we know that we're going to have a massive advantage here, because we've basically had a free pit stop to get onto these hard tyres. And here we go, we are preparing to resume now. Just have to be ready to go for it out of this final corner. So here we go. We've timed it nicely. Gasly caught napping.
Green flag.
Who's going to have more grip into turn one? I think it's us. We go round the outside and we're through on Pierre Gasly. So up to P17. That was an important sort of display of, yeah, we can do this. And now we go down the inside of Yuki Tsunoda. It was
Brilliant.
touch and
Nice
go,
move.
but
Keep going.
literally I don't think I could have stopped the car. They broke so early on those intermediate tyres. Now, what's going to be really interesting is, when does DRS get enabled? That's usually a sign of the AI coming into the pit lane, but DRS is still not being enabled at this point. There's still definitely water on the track, but we are definitely going quick out there, and that's what has to be remembered here. And everybody is staying out there on the intermediate tyres. We have not got anybody coming in for slick tyres just yet. We have got a new fastest lap from the race leader, and here we come then. We're going to make a move on Alex Albon here. And okay, our time maybe not as quick as we were on intermediates. So have we made a mistake here? Is it just the fact these are all on very old intermediates that this strategy is working? I have no idea. It is very intense though, and well, we're having to be very, very careful on the brakes, making sure not to lock them up. But here we go. We're going to head past Logan Sargent here. He's got a bit more straight line speed than us, but we should be able to make the move down into turn 4. Again, just being careful on the brakes, careful on the acceleration out of the corner. We're up to P14 as it stands, and well, I think these hard tyres should be lasting until the end of the race. I don't see why they wouldn't. But yeah, we're not setting any purple times at the moment, and that's possibly a bit of a problem. But again, nobody going in by the looks of it. Oh, some people are. Some people are making the change. What are they going on to, though? That's the question. Are they going on to another set of intermediate tyres? No, it's medium tyres for Sergio Perez. He's the first one to make the move, and DRS is now enabled. And surely people are regretting not coming in now. And there goes Kevin Magnussen. He's having a little look at Esteban Ocon as we set a purple first sector with DRS enabled. And here we go round the outside of Ocon, and we are easily through on Kevin Magnussen. These are the tyres to be on. We are going to be leading this Grand Prix very, very shortly, I would imagine. But for how long? I don't think we'll be able to hang on to it, but we're going to fly around the middle sector now, and hopefully this will be another purple time through here. And it is, and you can see how much quicker we are. The Ferrari's going to come into the pit lane. No, they're not. They're not. People are staying out there on the intermediate tyres. This is carnage. Some other people are coming in. This is great. The AI making different decisions. Valerie's in the pits, which is good to see. And we have now set the fastest lap of this Grand Prix, a 1:12.1. We are very much the fastest car out there as it stands. But Perez is out there as well on the medium tyres. He's pumping in the laps, and he passes the pit lane, and he is through. And I think it was Max Verstappen. He's the other one that's gone into the pit lane for now. But it looks like others, you know, that Ferrari out front still putting in decent pace. But here we come past Oscar Piastri, and we are going to be trying to get back into 6th position of this race. That's where we started this Grand Prix, of course, and it's where we were when we came into the pit lane to put on the hard tyres. We're not overly pushing here because there's no need to. You know, we will manage to get past Piastri. It's only a matter of time. Oh, well, we nearly lost it there. And Piastri's coming into the pits, but looks like the Ferrari and the Mercedes cars are staying out there. Stroll's out there as well. Fernando Alonso out there. We're up to P6. I'm a little baffled, I'm not going to lie, as Sergio Perez puts in the fastest lap of the race. He's 1.1 seconds quicker than us, but he's so far behind us, I don't think he's going to be able to make this work. But you can see there's barely any water on the track now. So those intermediates are just going to shred. They are absolutely going to shred. But we're not going that much quicker at the moment. Still a little bit nervy to go onto the curbs and sort of thing. You know, it's still not a perfect situation really in terms of tyres, but here we go. We have got people coming into the pit lane. That's Lance Stroll now into the pit lane, but the top 4 still remain out on track on those old intermediate tyres, including the race leader Charles Leclerc, who still seems to have very good pace. And it doesn't look like everybody is going to pit come the end of this. Bottas now sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:10.5. And this could be a really good race for Alfa Romeo now. But the top 4 know if they come into the pit lane, they are going to lose the lead. And I guess that's probably what the issue is, and the reason why they're not actually entertaining coming into the pit lane. Maybe that's what it is, because everybody else has now changed their tyres, or most of the other front contenders anyway, although we have got Kevin Magnussen and Esteban Ocon still out there on intermediates. And here we go then. Who is that coming into? Well, is that everybody coming in? I think it is. Everybody's now into the pit lane. So we are going to come round the final corner. We are going to take the lead of this Austrian Grand Prix. We made the tyre call earlier than everybody else. And, well, we're reaping the rewards now. It's fair to say Max Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the race. So on those mediums, he's 8 seconds behind us. With 5 laps to go, I think he's going to absolutely be quicker than us. And I don't think we're going to be able to hang on to the lead, but we can very much hope that we can. Perez and Hamilton not far behind either. And, well, I think Bottas is P6 at the moment. Hülkenberg P5. It's going to be a very mixed up order come the end of this race. Max Verstappen 1.5 seconds quicker than us on that lap. If he keeps that sort of pace up, he is going to catch us with a couple of laps to go. So this race very much not over yet.
Okay, clear.
Well, we've got yellow flags and it's Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez is out of this Grand Prix. And
That's
that
just 5 laps of fuel remaining.
potentially gives us a chance of a podium here, because I feel like Perez would have caught us as well. I don't think there's anything going to stop Max Verstappen, but
Some
Perez is
information on
out.
Perez. Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car.
Yeah, no sort of safety car. I mean, that would definitely put us under a lot of pressure, the safety car, so happy to not see one of those, but we're just looking after the car, making sure we're keeping it pointing in a straight line, and we know that there's going to be big points available here because Bottas P5 as well. This is huge for Alfa Romeo. Whoa, a little moment there. Just got on the grass, and of course the grass will still very much be damp, and as are the curbs. So a couple of little mistakes there. Pressure's growing because we're going to head into the penultimate 2 laps in the lead of this Grand Prix, but Max Verstappen is closing in on us. Let's stay with the action for these final 2 laps of this race. Here we go then. Max Verstappen is right behind us now as he sets the fastest lap of the race, so 107.4, very, very strong indeed. 107.2 for Charles Leclerc, and Max Verstappen will have DRS. Is he going to have a little look at us down the inside? I don't think so, not just yet. Well, look at that tactical DRS in there. And now we're going to have DRS back on Max Verstappen. Are we going to be able to make the move?
Keep on him, he might make a mistake.
Let's see. I don't think so. But we'll try and stay with him here. Come on. Let's try and stay with him, because if we can stay in the DRS onto the final lap of the Grand Prix, we just might have a chance of pulling off something very, very special here. But no, Max Verstappen now.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
Going to be more than a second in front because he's in the better car, basically. And there we go. Max Verstappen now starts the final lap of this race, and, well,
Final lap.
we've given it our all, and Hamilton now 1.6 seconds behind to try and get second place from us. Our tyres, obviously hard tyres, not giving us the optimal grip. They're more worn than anybody else's tyres as well, because we've been on them since the rain stopped. Since before the safety car.
We're only 2 seconds
and
behind
Hamilton
the car
now
ahead.
with
Keep pushing.
DRS. He's going to close right in here. Look at Lewis Hamilton. He's closing right in. Is he going to take second place in this race? It looks like we're going to get a podium. It certainly looks like that, as long as we don't do anything stupid with Lewis Hamilton. If he goes for it, I feel like we just let him past. There's no point making contact here. These are very important points for the team, and wow, we slide out of that corner, and there goes Lewis Hamilton. But look at Charles Leclerc, he's right behind us as well. Is Charles Leclerc going to be able to make a move on us into the final corner as we come up to the line? DRS enabled, and we are over the line, and it's our first podium in Formula One.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a really strong drive and a great finish. Well done.
That was awesome.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Austria. And a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
And there we are on the podium, and it's our first podium finish. Obviously, you know, not really on pure pace, but we took the risk with strategy, and, you know, bar for a couple of mistakes, we'd have finished second there, I think. Obviously, Verstappen had a little bit too much pace for us. Lewis Hamilton was very good as well. But third place, very important, 15 points in both championships, and a first podium of the career. Very good. That's what we like to see, isn't it? And
Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance,
Bottas finishes
making
seventh.
gains at the top of the table. Let's see how the drivers' standings have changed. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
Let's move on to the constructors. And pulling further ahead in the standings, it's Red Bull. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Alfa Romeo, whose good result moves them further up the championship. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Well, there you go then. 5th position in the championship in the constructors. Up to 8th in the drivers now. Not too far behind Fernando Alonso, but that was a terrific performance. 18 points this weekend overall. Max Verstappen, of course, takes more of a lead in this year's championship. Valtteri Bottas, though, he finishes 6th in the end in this Grand Prix. 8 points for that. Hülkenberg finishes 7th, so some good points for Haas as well. And yeah, really good Grand Prix. Really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. If you did, make sure you leave a like and let's see what's going on when we get back into the paddock. But a lovely podium there. This is where you want those press conferences from F1 2010, isn't it? And that would have been awesome if we had that there. But yes, you can see a new upgrade in the bag as well. But look how close everything is. It's pretty ridiculous, you have to say. We're massively ahead of AlphaTauri. Pretty much on par with Williams and Alpine. A little bit behind McLaren and Haas. But we have got the British Grand Prix coming up next time out. One of my favourite tracks of the season, and I can't wait to get in front of the home crowd. So if you've enjoyed that, give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more F1 23 videos, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.